what's happening? What's happening?
What's up?
Happening? Y'all know what time it is. It's Wind Down Wednesday. And, every once in a while, we got to throw a little something in there for y'all.
That's right.
So it is Wind Down Wednesday. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking us out. We just thank you and appreciate you. So today, y'all know it's Cinco de Mayo.
Yes.
We may not be out and about, hanging out, doing things, but let's go. Get your drink. Let's go. Get your margaritas.
I got my margarita.
Get your margaritas. I don't like soda around the rim.
I got me some.
I got the strawberry margarita. Where's yours? Grab it because today is Cinco de Mayo. Welcome to Wind Down Wednesday. I am Sandy and I'm sitting here with my girl.
Hey, y'all know it's Shanice and y'all know how we do it. You never know what to expect when it comes to Tuck Radio. We love to have fun and we love to talk. So we bout it. Cinco de Mayo. What's up, Terrence? Thanks for tuning in.
What's up, Terrence? What's going on? It's Cinco de Mayo. So where are you going today for Cinco de Mayo Day? Let's get moving. So how you been, sis? What's going on? What's the week been like for you?
I should have been pretty good. It's a little challenging earlier today, but I'm grateful. I went to the doctor. Everything's going well. They're keeping a close eye on me, so I'm happy.
Good. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, AJ? It's Cinco de Mayo.
AJ, it's Cinco de
Mayo Day. Grab your margarita. And come on in, because y'all know we about to talk about, yes, it's hump day.
Yeah. How are you? How you feeling today?
I am wonderful. I am great. My week has been great. I'm happy. It's just like happiness all around. The sun is shining even when we think the sun is not shining. What's up, Robert?
Sure.
What's going on, Robert? Yes.
Robert.
It's Chipotle night. Yes. It's taco night.
That's right. Yesterday was Taco Tuesday. And
sour cream night. Whatever you want to, whatever. Chips and dip night. Cinco de Mayo night. Whatever time.
That's right.
My week has been great. It's been wonderful. I'm really excited. Things are moving accordingly, and I'm happy about it. But it's been good. I've been blessed and highly favored. God has been good to me and my family. We are all still here. Praise Jesus.
Yes, thank you, Lord.
But, grab your hats, people.
That's right.
And we are about to talk about it. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching us. Thanks for listening. Please share, like, trade, do whatever you want to do. But whatever you do, please tell all the deacons, missionaries, saints, and friends that it's Wind Down Wednesday, and we are about to talk about it. So the first thing, we got two things we really want to talk about. So yes, and I can't even do that. Help me out with that. What's her name? Y'all know what I'm doing. Yeah. Andale. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's go. So tell your friends that it's Cinco de Mayo. We want you to make sure that you go out and have fun. Kick it with your family. Do something. Right. Just have a good time. Yeah. Hee-haw! Cinco de Mayo. Power to all the Black Mexicans. We
mix it all here at Tuck Radio. You never know what you gonna do.
We don't discriminate around here. We don't discriminate. So join in and tell everybody that it's Cinco de Mayo Day, okay? So let's get busy and let's talk about it. Y'all tell us what you think about this. So everybody has been a big uproar about the principal taking out the pedal and paddling the student because they damaged a computer. Now, the principal called the mom. The mom came up to the school with the money so they could pay for the damages.
Right.
Obviously, that was not enough for the principal. Who called the parent? And the mother, since we're talking about Cinco de Mayo, happens to be a Mexican or a Hispanic type ethnicity, the principal took it upon herself, because you know what I think. It ain't the first time she did it. It's just the first time she got caught
That's
on
all.
tape doing it.
There you go.
So she spanks the girl with the paddle. Now, how do y'all feel about that? Now, corporal punishment. Back in the day, what did we call it? Back in the day, well, I can't recall even getting a paddling myself, because I was always that good kid in school. I refused to get one because I used to see them paddles with the holes in them, and they used to say them was the worst kind.
They meant business when that paddle came out. Listen, sign me up for that principal, first of all. That's what I want to say. We need more principals like that in schools, period. We need paddling back in schools, because when the discipline left, that's when all hell broke loose.
So do you really think that she was legit and she was right in doing what she did? Because it's everybody is in an uproar about what she did. Was she right about doing it?
Well, here's the thing. I think that it could have been went about differently, of course.
Well, you must have been a bad student at school.
Because of the day and the time that we're in right now is not acceptable. So that's ironic for a child to be getting paddled. So I understand Roy, but at the same time, I grew up in a generation where I know about paddling. I never got paddled because I wasn't that child. But my sibling, my brother, he always got it. He always got in trouble. And I feel like just paddling, period, having that discipline in school that got kids in line and kept them straight. Once that went away, it's just like anything goes now. So I agree that I feel like paddling should be a part of the process, but how she handled it, I felt like she could have probably handled it differently.
And my thing is, I think that here go Terrence. Terrence said,
hey, yes.
I don't know about all y'all, but if I got a whooping at school, I got one when I got home that day. Embarrassing for the parents. Yeah, exactly. It's not embarrassing for the parents. It probably was embarrassing for you too.
Right. And I get that that it was embarrassing, because you are a representation of where you come from. And so therefore you have to hold yourself, your character, your values, all those things hold you to a different standard. And so I understand the embarrassment. Yes. You don't get your butt paddled. You don't get paddled in school.
But the little girl wasn't bad. Now here we go again with not telling the whole story. How did the computer break?
Right.
And you wanted to charge her $50 to fix. So the damages couldn't have been that much. If I'm not mistaken, I think the screen was scratched or something. Right. And she made her mama come up and pay $50 to get it fixed. So if it was scratched, but how did she scratch it? Did she throw it down? I'm sure she wasn't acting out. But
was it any proof? Was it any proof that it was actually her who did the damage? First of all, and second of all, if the mom was called and the mom agreed to pay for it, then it's like, okay, what was the reason to pay? What was the reason? So yeah, I agree with having discipline back in the school, but I feel like how she handled it could have been done differently.
A whole lot differently, because we once again don't know the full story and the whole story, but it's still my personal feelings. It did not negate a paddling. Now, going back to what AJ said, she was bad at school. She went to a Catholic school, which required her to get probably a lot of paddlings because she wasn't listening, because she was acting out. Totally different than your mama being called up there, your mama watching and video recording you while you're getting your behind spanked.
Mm-hmm.
And that principal went way back and came back. That was a little 6-year-old, something.
Now, and my thing too is like, how did the parent find out? Like, did she call and say, hey, I had to paddle your child today because of XYZ? You know what I mean? Like,
that was the mama. The mama was the one recording it. The mama sat there and watched it.
So she allowed it. So she agreed with it, basically. But so what is the uproar? This is her child.
Well, let me say this. I'm always the devil's advocate. She was a Hispanic, or she was of another
Latino
ethnicity. Okay. So we know a black mama ain't gonna sit there and let a principal spank her child with a paddle. That ain't gonna happen. We're not gonna be afraid to step in and say something about, why you peddling my kid if I'm coming up here, because we know that the rate these schools are going right now and the things that are happening in school, there's not one teacher in a school a public school system that is in an urban area gonna pull out a paddle
And paddle somebody's child.
and paddle a black kid. Let's just keep it 100. You're not gonna
Mm-hmm.
paddle a black kid. That's not
Mm-mm.
gonna happen.
Them ain't the type of problems that you want.
But mom didn't step in because I think mom was afraid to step in because she was Hispanic. She was another ethnicity. So her background was not black or white. Because you can't tell me, people, I refuse to believe, y'all can't tell me that she stepped in, she wasn't scared. I mean, intimidated or something by the principal. My cousin checking in from Florida, my problem then was the verbal abuse by the assistant. If you can come back to the office, you're going to get it again. Who says that? I agree. And not only that, my other issue is the darn secretary gonna grab the baby. Did you see that? The secretary gonna try to hold the baby down.
Oh, they said she couldn't speak the language.
She couldn't even speak the language.
So there was a language barrier.
If the kid was smart, he would have probably elected for the principal to whip him versus his mom. But with that being said,
it's a cultural difference.
It is, but with that being said, if you can't hardly speak the language and you can't hardly talk and you don't understand half of the, whatever, you understand, but you don't understand. Come on now, what you think? What's going on,
Marvin?
I miss you at church. Hope to see you soon. So my thing is, why didn't the mom step in? Me? Because she was Hispanic and scared.
And as we heard, there was a language barrier.
There was a language barrier. So what do you expect? Did you really expect her to step in? But once again, look at where the school was. It was not in the urban area. It was in a location where there was a lot of Hispanic children at the school.
Mm-hmm.
So this ain't the first time that principal done pulled that pedal out
and
done spanked a child and nobody said anything about it.
Wow.
Now the mom says she was scared. And they've gotten a lawyer. So now it's getting ready to be a lawsuit.
Yeah, it's about to get real ugly. But my thing is like, what was mom scared of outside of the language barrier? What was it that she was scared of? Was she scared that if she tried to intervene, that she would get paddled too? Like where was the fear coming from? That's what I mean by we don't know the whole story.
I'm like my cousin said, the degrading and the
embarrassment, the shame.
Yeah, she's just talking down. The principal was talking down to the kid while the mom was still sitting there. And I mean, the mama didn't say nothing. So how do you still paddle the kid? Mom's sitting there recording it. She just put something on the books. I know that's right. I know that's right.
Because you gonna paddle my child, and I'm recording it because there is a fear, there is a language barrier, but you just gonna continue anyway. Like I don't care, your mama here. You about to get this beating.
And you're right.
Then I thought the same thing, Terrence. Deportation. I thought it has to be something outside of the language barrier.
And I'm like Marcus, my cousin said it's a good thing. Well, she was smart enough to record it.
You're right. Right. Make it make sense.
Because my thing is, I don't think she knew what to expect when she got there. And then again, the teacher probably had a reputation that we on the outside
have no idea about. Yep. And then we don't know if there's been other altercations that this principal may have gotten into with this specific parent.
Video does translate in all languages and all ethnicities too.
Yes, sir.
Because once again, you can't tell me that would have happened in the urban school in the city of Chicago. You can't tell me that a teacher would have pulled out a paddle and spanked a black kid in one of them schools. That wouldn't happen.
And not live and tell about it. No, ma'am.
And still be around. She ain't just losing her job. She's going to lose her life. Like Marvin said, you better put the money on the books. Because
people don't play about their kids. Do you hear me?
Not play about their children. Whether or not they have a bad behavior or not.
Or not. They do not belong to you. So people do not play about their children.
Do not put a paddle on my child's buttocks without my permission.
Mm-mm.
So do you think that we have become so, do you think that's what's wrong with children today? That they are not disciplined in school. They can't be disciplined in school. Therefore, if they're not done, if that does not happen in school, does it matter when they're out on the street? Does that
For sure.
over to the neighborhood?
For sure. Because when if there's no consequences for nothing that you do, that's how you walk through your life. And so then as an adult, you walk through your life the same way. There are going to be repercussions and consequences that you're going to have to face that you're not going to be able to wiggle your way out of or get your way out of. But that's because that's how you've been operating. There's never been a consequence. There has to be consequences.
But how do we I'm not going to say punish our kids. So what do we do to our kids? Mine is grown. What can people do without the system being called on them? Because right now the system is overtaking parenting.
Yep, your hands are tied. You can't even discipline your child in no way.
But yep, does start at home.
Right, Joe. Thanks for tuning in. Yes, it does.
Thanks for tuning in. But discipline does start at home. But yet and still, when kids know that they have an out, and that out is children's services.
Yep, and they throw it up all the time.
You can even call the freaking police and tell the police, my mama beating me, and they gonna come.
Yep.
And they gonna investigate. And if there's a need for children's services to get involved, they calling them.
Yep, I had a family member do that years ago. This was old school, years ago. When they got up in that courtroom, that judge said, good, your mama whoop your behind. She's trying to teach you something. And
right.
To keep you from up out of here. You know what I'm saying? But that's old school.
Thank you, Marcus.
Thank you. It's Cinco de Mayo.
It's Cinco de Mayo. Get your come on, get yours.
Get your margarita.
Get your margarita. It's Cinco de Mayo. I don't know the sound, but that's good enough for me. So get your drink on, put your salt around. I don't like salt on my rims. But
I guess
grab your margarita. Grab your margarita and come on, sit down with us. But thank you so very much, Marcus. So my thing is, the system is overtaken now. Parents can't parent kids because the system is doing I think a disservice because
yes, Joe. Yes, honey. Yes. I'm over here. Them old school traditions, they work. You know what I mean? You got to stick with them. Whether it's a writing assignment, whether you're doing wall squats, holding books. I'm old school. You know what I'm saying?
What's up, cuz? Checking in from Alabama. This starts at home, and it started on Canal Street. You're darn skippy because Ella Mae Phillips, Mabel Lee Phillips, and Faber Reed Phillips didn't play that. We know that for a fact.
It's a different time. It's a different generation now.
Baby, the generations is going on because we did it to our kids, and I'll be darned if you call children's services on me.
No, you ain't gotta call them. I'm gonna call them for you.
You ain't gonna have no teeth.
I'm gonna call them for you. How about that?
Because right now, like I said, children's services have given our children a way out.
Too much power. They've given them too much power over us as the parent, as the adult, as the person that's supposed to know what's best for them.
Correct. Marva, you're absolutely right. And Marva, you're right because old school works. Old school work for me. Old school work for my child.
That's right.
School work for the children that she have. If Lord bless me to be around, I'm gonna make sure they don't have no teeth too.
That's right. Because my grandma used to say, "What a hard head make a soft, you know what?
Make a soft butt top. Make a soft butt top." Y'all know it's Wind Down Wednesday. It's Cinco de Mayo. Get your margarita. Because we're talking tonight, we're talking about corporal punishment, spankings in schools, or peddlings. And should you even do it to your child or your children? Or maybe you did already. I mean, when you got a whooping, AJ, a peddling, look at you now, though. Do you think it was okay because it helped you to where you are now? You realized that you couldn't continue to carry on and act out in school because if you did, you was going to get another one and another one and another one. So what do you all think? Should peddling be back in schools? Should peddlings be back in school as a form of discipline. We're not going to say punishment because that's a
Discipline,
harsh
because
word.
discipline, because there is no discipline nowadays. These kids are fearless. They don't feel like that there are no consequences. And the parents are the main reason for this behavior.
Right. Exactly. And that's another thing. Our parents, the reason why the kids are the way they are.
For sure. Because I mean, witnessed it, and I'm pretty sure any of our viewers who are globally, thank you for tuning in, have as well, where an adult has disciplined a child, whether it be at school, at childcare, wherever, and the kid was wrong, and the parent jumped to the kid's defense and say, "Hey, you don't talk to my child like that," or "Hey, you don't say," you know what I mean? Like, it's just a different time. It used to be where it was a neighborhood thing, where if your
Right.
neighbor told your mama you did something, the neighbor go get you, and your mama go get you when you get home, and your daddy or whoever else that's an
Absolutely.
adult that's rearing you the correct way, they was gonna get on your case. But it's
Right.
not like that anymore. You can't correct a child, because you got to worry about the parent correcting you and you correcting them on something that they did
Absolutely.
wrong. It makes no
Absolutely.
sense. You're fighting two battles. So nowadays people don't say nothing, and they just like mind their own business, because that's how it is. I'm not gonna get shot or stabbed because I'm trying to tell this child, you know what I mean, not to steal in this store, and this mama go tell me, don't talk to my kid, don't tell my kid what to do. You know, who wants to go through that battle?
Right. So when they get to school, that action, let's go to what Joe Green said, every action causes a reaction. So
That's
from that
right.
action, when they get to school, their reaction is going to be acting out
That's it.
because
Cause
they
nothing,
know
cause nothing's gonna happen to me. And if you
nothing is
touch me,
going to happen.
I'm telling my mama, and my mama gonna come and beat you down or shoot you or stab you. My mama
Exactly.
gonna defend me. Am I wrong? So what's the point?
Right. Because she's defending me in the neighborhood. You know, she's defending me everywhere I go. My mom is, or my aunt, or my daddy, or somebody is
My grandma, whoever.
stepping up on my behalf, because when I act out, there's no discipline. There's no discipline at home. So
I
you
have
go
no
to
I have
school,
no consequences. So I do it. They might talk to me. That's it. There's nothing
that's
taken
it.
from me. My phone ain't taken from me. TV
Nothing.
time ain't taken from me. I don't get on writing assignment. Nothing.
But yet and still, I can't get that same parent to come sit down for a parent-teacher conference. Make it make sense.
That's the problem.
Make it make sense. You know, if something happens to your child, or if the teacher disciplines your child, say the teacher spanks your child, or the teacher accidentally does something and your child goes home and tell it, the next thing you know, the mama coming up there with a scarf or a bonnet on her head and with the flip-flops with the fur on them, ready to fight.
Those are thought flops. I hate those.
Okay, thought slots, whatever they are, flops, whatever.
Thought flops, yes.
My thing is, but when your child doesn't have an A for reading, instead they got an F, because they're failing, and I tell you, I need you to come up here so we can discuss these matters, you're not coming. So you don't care about the educational piece of your child, but you definitely care about the discipline piece.
But you'll defend what's wrong. Your child know every Megan Thee Stallion song on the radio, but
exactly,
the grades ain't up to par.
They know how to drop it like it's hot. You're right, AJ. Every open houses.
It's sad, AJ.
Most of them are empty. The majority of them, that's not going to say all of them. The majority of them are empty. And Mara, you're right. Some parents are at fault and they hold it because that's it.
Yep. So all their life, they go through life.
They're the ones that causing the problem.
Checking them. Nobody calling them and saying, "Hey, you did this wrong." And so when it's time for them to get them charges, you know, now they can't talk their way out of it. Exactly. Now it's a consequence your mama can't get you out of. Your daddy can't get you. Your grandma can't get you out of. You know.
Exactly. But do I feel that the principal was wrong peddling that student? I do. But we don't know because I don't think she had a reason to peddle her. You call the mom's there watching, the mom records, you swing and hit the baby once, and then you hit it 2 or 3 more times.
Yeah, I felt that was very unnecessary, especially
and then you talk to them, you degrade them, you know. Yeah. And then somebody, if you do it again, I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna whoop you again right in front of your mama, make your mama sit here and watch. So should we have that type of mentality or discipline back in our schools with our children? Should we allow that back in the schools? Should we allow paddling back in the school? Should one person be allowed to do it, or should none?
Oh, Joe, I love it. You said some parents want to be their kids' friends, and that's a setup for failure. Yes, sir. There is a level of respect and boundaries that
Maybe.
you have to have with your children. Yes, you have fun with them, you laugh with them, you crack jokes with them, but they know to respect you and to take you seriously.
And when they do that, that carries over to the school. And the
Yep,
teacher and the principal don't have any issues with it because they're used to respecting you as a parent.
that's right.
And they're used to saying yes, ma'am, and yes, sir, and no, ma'am, and no, sir. They're used to that.
Right.
But that comes from good parenting.
But it comes from good parents, and it comes from the foundation of being showed that when you're outside of this house, you represent me. You represent us. You represent
Absolutely.
family. You represent, you know what I mean? And so
Right.
that's priority, and we've lost that.
Hey, what's going on? Wanda, thanks
Hey,
for
Wanda, thanks for
tuning
tuning in to Wind Down
in.
Wednesday.
Yes.
It
And my
is,
sister here, it's Wind Down Wednesday.
we got our margaritas. It's Cinco de
It's
Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo. Ooh, I know that. Get your drinks on. Get your chips, get your tacos, get your sour cream. You know, let's tacos, chicken tacos, meat tacos. Let's do it.
Get your
But it's
guac, get your all of that.
It's all of that. So what's going on, good people? Hey, Cheryl, how are you?
Yes, thanks for tuning in, Cheryl.
Thanks for tuning in, but you're absolutely right. Babies are having babies.
Yeah,
Parents need to look, girl, if they don't put them phones down,
yes.
they can tell you everything that's on TikTok. And they need to pay attention to what's going on at home because they're
Every
here.
challenge, every dance, you got it right, Cheryl.
And they are products of their environment because their environment is showing them absolutely nothing.
Oh, thanks for tuning in, Wanda. Yes.
Tell your mother we said hello. Tell your mom we
Yes.
said hello. And we love her too.
Yes. And thanks for
But my
tuning
thing
in.
is, should pedaling be back in the school? Should that type of discipline be put back in the school? Do you feel any teacher or any administrator should be spanking children with a paddle?
I'm on the fence about it, and I'll tell you why. I'm on the fence because it's a different time, and a lot of these
I
teachers,
said we love your mama.
yes, we do. A lot of these teachers walk around as though they are parents to this child. I myself have had to check a teacher before for the dialogue they were using with my child, or because they were angry or frustrated with the response that she gave them, which was not disrespectful, but they wanted more. They was trying to pull more out of it, and her response was just like, "Sure," that was it.
Right.
But because they didn't get the response that they wanted, they went on in a manner to approach her, or have a conversation with her that was inappropriate, and I had to check them. So no, because a person like that with a paddle in their hand is power. They're power driven. They're not going to be focused on doing the things the right way, as like it was when we grew up, when paddles was in, and it actually worked, and people had morals and they had standards, and you know what I mean. The viewpoint of life is differently. So yes, because discipline is needed, but no, because the people whose hands we placing it in is a totally different generation than what we grew up with.
Now, Jeffries, as y'all saw, AJ said, representation does matter. We do, and you do represent. Had she not turned herself around, her life around, her mom said she couldn't play ball. But those are parents with some morals and values.
Yep.
Those are the parents that cared back
Yep.
in the day. And Cheryl says, no, she don't think the pedaling should be back in the schools. Not at the school.
She said, but whoop that butt at home. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Pop
But
that butt.
Once again, Cheryl, if they beat them at home or whoop them at home or spank them at home or whatever they do at home, then guess what? Them children gonna call 911, 411, 211, and then here we go again because they're gonna deal with some form of domestic violence.
Yep.
And then here go Joe Green said before it gets back in the schools, more discipline should be given at home.
That's for sure.
I agree. But we have to figure out as parents, how do we discipline our children? Where, what type of discipline are we going to give them at home so they know if what the consequences are if they act up in school?
Right. And Wanda said she grew up with paddling in schools and don't condone it. However, there should be discipline in the home, and that's true. But the laws have changed, and I'm sure you can touch on this. About now when there's a dispute in the home, it's considered domestic. It doesn't have to be two opposite sex people. It can be yourself and your child. It is considered domestic.
Yep. And yes, you're right, Cheryl. It's a catch-22. You get caught up in the middle of things, and now, can you be a parent? No, you can't be a parent because the system is against you.
So I got to be their friend because I don't want them to call the people on me. No.
But then a lot of times too, what you said, AJ, a lot of them are single parents, and they don't feel like they have the help that they need.
They don't have the support.
Yep, and the support that they need to help discipline their child. Because if they do it at home, once again, they're gonna call social services, and here we go.
With a domestic dispute. And it's not a village anymore. It's to each his own. It's every man for a woman from himself. So it's different times. We're not in a village anymore. I can't expect my neighbor to, you know what I mean, to be like, hey, I seen your daughter, da 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 da. Like, I can't expect that because it's just different times. People are quote unquote minding their business,
Right.
But this no snitch thing, like, it's not a village anymore.
No, it's not.
So for a single parent, you have no support. It's just you and that's it.
I look at videos, I see a lot of videos that pop up, I see a lot of the parents that are standing around watching their kids carry on in the neighborhood fighting, and they don't step in, they don't do anything. So
not to interrupt you, but think about the incident that we talked about last week with the young lady who got killed. And all of those adults that were standing out there.
All they had to do was step in. Some adult need to step in at some point in time. You take a hit with, this is my thing. I think you should take that hit on their parent yelling at you, leave my child alone. Who are you to step in? Okay, well, they're not going to be fighting if I'm around. They're not going to be fighting if I got anything to do with it. Because at the end of the day, somebody might get killed.
Yeah.
And if I'm standing there, why would I want that type of blood on my hand?
Right. And you're right, Wanda. That is definitely the issues. And it's a big problem.
That's what happens. That's what happens. You end up with blood on your hand because you didn't step in. That's the way I see it. It's Cinco de Mayos. It's wine down Wednesday. So come on, people. Let's make it happen. Step in, have fun, enjoy life, and eat you some tacos. But tonight we are talking about, should peddling be back in school? Should that discipline piece be placed back in the schools? Would it help our children in the environment that they're in right now? Will it? Here go Joe Green. The discretion of the officer responding in their training should know the difference between abuse and discipline in the home. We know that, but some of them don't.
It's not, but as again, we cannot say common sense is common because it's not. It's so many deaths now that's happening that shouldn't be. So it's easier to say that when they show up, or the kid called and say, my mama beat and hit me.
Right.
It's easy to say. Now they got to take, even though this is a child, that they may have a track record of being a liar.
Absolutely.
But the police have to show up. They have to do the investigation. They have to call social services. It's a protocol.
It is. It's a process. It's a total process. It's a whole process. And the thing about it is, what if you got that little 21, 23-year-old officer responding? They may not know the difference between discipline and abuse, And who's to say that mark didn't come from them wrestling out on the ground playing football or basketball or running around doing something and they fail and hurt themselves? Nobody.
You can't assume, and you can't take it lightly because now your butt's on the line.
Yep, your whole career is on the line because you're trying to figure out, is this discipline or abuse? And you're right, AJ. Perception is everything. With some people,
perception is reality.
Perception is everything. With some people, perception is their reality.
Yep.
That's all they know is perception. They live on perception, but you can't live like that. Not on perception. You shouldn't live like that because I could care less how you perceive me. Because at the end of the day, it's Cinco de Mayo.
And if you don't know me, you don't know me. You got to get to know me. It ain't about a perception. What do you
Exactly. Don't
know?
nobody
What,
care nobody.
what do you know as to be facts? You know.
And it's different strokes for different folks. You're
Yes,
absolutely
ma'am.
correct. In all ways, shapes, forms, and fashions. It's different strokes from different folks. But you know, it's Wind Down Wednesdays. We sitting here, Cinco de Mayo. We got our margaritas.
That's right.
There has to be a starting point to know what looks right. I get it. I get that. But that's for the old heads.
Yeah. That's this newer generation. Yeah.
Baby. They don't want to learn. This newer generation don't get it, and they don't want to
They
listen.
They don't care. They're fearless. They have nothing to lose. They don't have the mindset that generations ago had. They do not.
I see. You don't care about perception either, girl. I know the feeling. Me too. I'm right around the corner from there. And my thing is, if I ain't got it done right now, then I'm still gonna have to work on getting it right. And it's at the end of the day, it's all up to me to do that anyway. But I did, like my cousin said, it started on one street for us. You know, it started on one street, and that whole street made sure that the village did raise us. You know, the village did take care of us. You know, the village was a part of our lives because
accountability. There was more accountability. People, accountability partners. You know, people they don't have that nowadays. People are
everybody
afraid.
knew everybody. You know, everybody knew everybody, and everybody cared about what the next person was doing. You know, and no, everybody was not from a family of dysfunction. You know, I think every family has some type of dysfunction, but not just a full-fledged dysfunctional family. But families took care of families where I'm from in Alabama. It's just that simple. That
that's
one Canal Street.
That's that southern right there.
That's that southern piece. Canal Street is what it was and what it is, and it ain't going nowhere. Home is home. If we can serve one child, that is one child that will be productive in society, and that's the key.
Absolutely.
And that's where parents, well, that's where adults such as ourselves need to step in and be a part of society with trying to help one. Because if you reach one, that one can reach somebody else.
And this is why we are very big here at Tuck Radio on if you see something, say something. Now, how many other people were around who just stood and witnessed this as well?
Yep. It's a lot of stuff that's going around that nobody's saying anything about. Nobody is opening their mouth because they are afraid of the actions that may take place from the
consequences that may happen. Exactly.
You hear me? For every action, there's a reaction.
Yes, it is.
So note that. Now, y'all know we've been sitting here talking about should pedaling be back in school.
Yep.
But then there's another topic we want to talk about on Wind Down Wednesday, because is it important? I think it has a lot to do with what we're talking about now too. Because, well, let me say this. Dr. Dre
spit it out.
And Bill Gates are now in the process of divorcing. So the question is marriage all of that? Should marriages be looked upon as, let's get married, you know, because it's all that in a bag of Grippos and ice cream or Golden Flakes and ice cream. So is marriage all that? Because you look at the individuals, I could care less about Bill Gates. I could care less about Dr. Dre because they haven't done anything for me. But I listen to people, and those that are in relationships, some want to be married and some don't.
Mm-hmm.
Some want to live the separate lives. You got your place, I got mine. We come together whenever. Some would rather live with each other and not be married.
Mm-hmm.
So is marriage really all of that right now?
What's your take? What's your thoughts? You know, we it's Wind Down Wednesdays, Hump Day. It's Cinco de Mayo. We got our margaritas. We love the fact that everybody's tuning in globally, but chime in. What do you think? What are your views?
My take on it. I was with some people and somebody said they really get hurt and they feel sad when people have been married a long period of time and then all of a sudden they divorce. But I do believe people grow apart. But can you bring it back together? I say it all the time. It takes two people. What causes people after years? I'm looking at like what caused them to get a divorce after all these years? Bill Gates been married for a long time. Dr. Dre been married to his wife they've been married for a long time. And then I look at Oprah and Stedman. Never been married,
Never.
but they are happy. They are extremely happy. Joe Green, being a grown man that has been on both sides of the fence, the grass always looks green on the other side, but it is not. Well, I hear you, mean Joe Green. I hear you, Mr. Look. And see, that's where it is. It's all about the money dollars.
Okay, that greenery, that money.
Yep. Want to say marriage is what you make it, but anything a relationship is what you make.
And that's what I was just gonna say. At the end of the day, all relationships, whether it's a marriage covenant or not, all relationships are what you put in it is what you get out. Everybody's marriage is different. Some people view as okay, others don't view as that case. There's people that's married that have an open marriage. I don't agree with that, but other people feel like it's great, you know. And so at the end of the day, they have to answer for whatever it is that they feel is right or is wrong, you know. And so my thing is too, like she said, different strokes for different folks. You got to do what works for you. And in any relationship, whether it's sister, brother, cousin, best friends, girlfriends, you have to communicate. The communication piece is it in all of it, because we all change. I'm not the same as I was at 5, at 18. My viewpoints, my thought process, my thought process, the things I've experienced in life, it's not the same. My outlook on life is not the same. And so yes, we all grow and we all change, but we have to communicate through those things. And that's in any relationship.
Absolutely. My thing too is, I get a lot of friends of mine, close friends or associates or whatever you call it, that are married, that often say that if they get divorced, they're not doing it again. If they get divorced, they're going to go out and they're going to kick it and they're going to do all this, they're going to do all that. They're going to just run through life like it's just like water. But the older we get, it's not that easy.
That's hilarious. I understand. I mean, if you're a person who is in a marriage or in a relationship and that love is there, and you feel like this person is your soulmate, and then they pass away or you pass away, and you don't want to go through that again, I get it. I understand it.
Yep.
To each his own.
And to each his own. And you're right, Wanda. At some point you do have to grow up. But here, I'm gonna say this to you, mean Joe Green. There's some people that don't feel like a counselor or a coach or a friend can tell them what to do in their marriage. Who are you to tell me what I need to be doing in my marriage? Because you ain't in the house with me.
You're right. I agree with you, Joe. I agree with you, and I agree with what you said. You're right. People don't want to take it. They don't feel like nothing's wrong. There's nothing that needs to be fixed. And so if there's nothing that needs to be fixed, what am I going to counseling for? What am I talking to people about? You know what I mean?
About millions of dollars with them. So do you think it's about the money? A lot of people ain't getting married because of money. I know a lot of people that ain't getting married because
the prenup game is off the chain. I'm gonna just say that.
And then there are some that are refusing to do a prenup. Why are we getting married if we got to do a prenup? You don't trust me? I don't think it's about the trust, but we don't know what happened with Bill Gates and Dr. Dre and his wife. Money is involved with that.
It changes things. Money changes things, and it changes the scenario. It changes people. So AJ said, I didn't do it again. Once was enough. Been single for too long. Set in my ways. I understand.
And that's what I'm saying. And that's what a lot of people are doing. So is marriage all of that? But let's even get back to the first topic we had. Is that the reason why children are the way they are? Because they weren't in a home where there's two parents. They weren't in a home where they could see that love and affection from either parent, and their behaviors are now in such an uproar that they just can't cope with life at being in school, and the beat goes on, because how many people do we know? How many kids and how many families do we know that are single parents?
Right. Yeah.
And why are they single parents?
Right. It's a lot of
Something.
brokenness, a lot of iniquities, a lot of things that need to be stopped that hasn't. Let's continue on and on and on, you know. And Wanda said, honestly, I don't want to be married. I'm not set up like that.
She ain't set up like that. And see, and that's a lot. But at the end of the day, if you got children, is that a good thing for your child? When they say, I read a lot, I keep telling y'all that, but when I read a lot about children growing up in homes, women growing up in homes without a man or father figure, they have a tendency when they get older to look at their mate differently.
Yep.
You know, or respond to their mate differently.
Because as a human being and as a person, we desire to have those relationships, because we were made by two people, not one.
Absolutely.
And so that desire, because that parent, whether it's the father missing or the mother, it doesn't go away. Yep. It turns into, now my desire has flipped over into, when I get into a relationship, now the desires and the things that should have been met for me as a child, I am now looking for that in my relationship. And it's an ongoing battle. It's a part of baggage that people take into a relationship. Yep. Or into a marriage. You know, and that's why so many broken marriages, there's so many broken people, and broken people are continuing to break people.
And then the brokenness breaks the children, who become a discipline problem in the schools.
A part of the cycle. It's a cycle.
It's a cycle. So this is why we discuss the peddling in the schools as far as discipline, and then the importance of being married. Is it important enough to be married to whomever you love, and you got children, and they see that love, and then you show that love and affection? Do you think that helps them when they are in school, when they are around other people? Or does it cause them to get in trouble and be peddled by an administrator or a teacher in school, which causes another problem? Dig, is that not a big cycle?
It's gotta stop somewhere. You know, I don't believe that people get married to get divorced. I don't believe that. Like, oh, I'm gonna marry him, right, and in 2 years we're gonna be done. Like, I just feel like things happen. Some people mature later than others. Some people are, like Joe was saying earlier, you know, they don't want to get the counselor, or they don't feel they need it. It's just a whole lot of different variables and factors, and then you add children into it on top of it. It just makes it takes it to another level.
Yep. And you're right. There are, but see, now you got what they call girl dads. You know what I'm saying? There's no longer that's the old school way. What you're thinking, Joe, that's the way I see it.
Girls gravitate to their dad, and boys gravitate to their moms. So it does matter. Yes, it does.
Yes, but see, girls,
but both are needed. Because
both are needed.
What I can give to my daughter, as from a mom, I can't give it to her. Correct. To my daughter as a man, you know. Correct. What I mean? As a dad, like, I can't give her that, and vice versa, you know.
And I'm with you, Wanda, because there are men that don't even want to be involved with ready-made family. Yeah. You know, they don't even want to be bothered with single moms. You know.
Yes, Wanda, you speak.
But the fact of the matter is, they're single themselves. The dads are single parents too.
Yeah.
They may not have the kid. Kid may not be with them, but they are single dads too, because they ain't with the mamas.
Yep.
So it's a big, old, huge cycle. Does it matter? Does marriage matter? Or can you just live with them and be okay and help raise them children to be a great product of today's society, so they don't need a peddling in school?
I think it's been a challenge, and it is a challenge, because a lot of people can't separate the complications of them, whatever the reason may be for divorcing or separating. They can't separate the parent, that piece of parenting together. There's always that bitterness or that control, or, you know, I want to have one up on you. You know, I was used as a pawn in the relationship, so I understand it. I've been there, done that. But some parents can't separate. Okay, we're not together, but let's be
Right.
together on our parenting. You know what I mean? Let's be together on our discipline, our child, on our communication. If you say no phone after 10, at my house is no phone after 10 also.
Right.
You know, and it's just small things like that that the parents they can't get on the same accord, and so the kids will stay off schedule.
Yep. Yep. And you're right. Me and Joe Green, a daughter sees firsthand how a man should treat a woman. The boys see what to look for in a woman. Yeah, you know, my thing is some kids look for what they see in their parents as a mate. You know, if they're together.
Right.
Now, if their parents are together, they might gravitate to that same kind of man that their dad is, or the same kind of woman that their mom is. They may gravitate to that kind of person. That's
And
not always the case.
It used to be easier time. It used to be, you know, more simplistic time, but it's different because now it's so much perversion, you know, mixed into things. We got, you know, women that's touching on their own kids, or men that's touching on their own kids, and
Right.
you know, there's just so many other levels and layers to just simple parenting. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, it could be a gazillion one reasons, but these are majors. You know what I mean? That a woman wanting to marry her son, and you know,
Yep.
there's all types of perversion that has happened, that has broken up the family, that has caused the division to begin with, and is continuing the division. You know.
Yep. And I was talking to somebody earlier today. They're getting married next week, and they've been with their fiance for 8 years. My question is, why you want to get married? She said to me, because she loves him. He's her best friend. They've been together for 8 years. And I asked her, I said, well, why so long? What took so long?
You patient, girl. Go ahead.
What took so long? What's that?
I said, she patient. Go ahead, girl.
She is. I'm like, what took so long?
That's a long time to be a fiance, baby.
A long time to be with somebody. And the reason she said is because he was not working in the proper place that he would like to be in to take care of her. But then I said to her, if love is love, it don't matter where you work.
Exactly, because I mean, obviously, things have been taken care of. Y'all been together for 8 years.
Love is love, and it doesn't matter where you work. You can work making pennies.
Listen, you gonna make it through. If you can make it work, y'all on the same page. Y'all go set out the master plan. Y'all go work together towards it, no matter what.
You're gonna make it work.
That's right.
So is marriage all of that? If it is, why are we having so many children that's still broken, being in a 2-family home and they getting paddled? I'm just saying.
I like how you wrapped that all in a bow.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Because we know there's a lot of Hispanic kids they have both parents in their house, in the homes. They got both. I mean, most of them, a lot of Hispanic children are with their moms and dads. A lot of them.
And their families, and their grandmas is living with them, and papa sometimes, you know, the culture dynamic is totally different.
Totally different. So does a kid act out so bad because they don't have both parents in the household? You know, are they acting out and they can't sit down in the chair and do their work at school because they don't have both parents in the household? Because there is a single mom who's working her butt off trying to make sure ends meet for her and her kids. So she don't have time for the discipline piece, and they just running around rampant doing whatever they want to. What's really important?
But generally, from what I know, in that culture, the father is the disciplinary, not the mother. The father is always the disciplinary. The mother is not the disciplinary.
Right. But in general, as a whole, them single moms out there working their butts off, working their buns off to make ends meet for their family. Doing it. They doing the darn thing. And there are some men, let's not get it twisted,
that are single dads and they holding it down, because we always talk about the ladies, but the fellas, you are out there as well.
There are more men that we can imagine that's doing the same thing that some of them women are doing, taking care of kids without the mother figure around.
That's right.
How in the world do you think they are surviving? What do you think they are doing? Working their bonds off just the same as that woman to make
That's
ends
it.
meet.
And each individual period is doing the best they can with what they have and what they've, what they know,
Right.
what they've been taught with, what they've learned, and
Right.
that's in a marriage, and that's being a single parent. You're doing the best you can with what you have.
Absolutely. And that's always going to be the case. My mom did the same thing, AJ. I mean,
Yeah,
you
I'm
know,
old school too. Yeah,
yeah,
it wasn't no, I'm gonna wait till your day. Wait till your daddy get home. Like, no, no, no.
you know, exactly. You know, I didn't do that, but let's go back to what Joe Green said. You got to put the fear of God in those kids. You know, my mama put the fear of God in us. Like my cousin said, Canal Street wasn't no joke.
Oh yeah.
Everybody had the fear of God in them. Everybody that grew up in those houses on Canal Street had the fear of God, literally and physically, figuratively, had it put in them. Trust and believe.
And in that time, at that time, respect was a major factor. Like, you respected your parents. Like, you never disrespected them. You respected adults because that was just, it was embedded into your fiber. It was
Right.
embedded into your DNA. Like, that's all you seen. That's all you knew. You knew not to step out of line. You knew not to be disrespectful. But this
Right.
generation and the times have changed. I mean, for me, hearing a kid like fuss their mama out, fuss her out, cuss her out, all of that. Like, and I'm like, oh my God. The stuff that you saying and your mama just standing there taking it, like, I would never, you know what I'm saying? Ever.
Right.
You think whatever in your head, but you never let it come out your mouth. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a different time. There's no respect.
None. Because and I commend you, Joe Green, for taking care of your babies by yourself with little help.
I got to tip my hat on Cinco de Mayo for that one.
Cinco de Mayo's to you, Joe Green. And yes, AJ, respect is everything when it comes to moms and dads, single moms and single dads raising their children by themselves. It's a form and a sign of respect. If you get the respect, you give the respect, it's going to carry over to the outdoors and it's going to carry over to school. And you won't have
you're
those.
Right. That's for sure. Because, and there was a generation where, like she said, respect was everything. And now people like, respect, what is that? There is none. No respect for self or other people. And that's a problem. And that's what our problem is nowadays.
Yes. And we commend those that are doing that, and I commend you for not allowing your child to go to school to be disciplined in a manner that we saw that principal discipline that child with that paddle. I commend you wholeheartedly, because if that principal says, or the staff member, the teacher, whomever say, oh, let me call your mama, let me call your daddy.
Yep.
And you already know what time it's gonna be.
You ain't even trying to do it. You ain't even trying to put yourself in a position where that phone call go even happen.
You're right. And that is another issue, but it happens. We know it happens.
More regularly now than ever. More rampant now than ever. Yes.
More rampant. It's we get these calls about these kids causing problems at schools, what they gonna do, how they gonna do it, when they gonna do it. But where is the parent in all this? You call the parent at home and you say, hey, your child is doing blah, blah, blah. Half of the time the phone ain't working. It ain't even their phone. You can't call them and tell them what they're doing.
Or they saying, that ain't my child. You must be talking about something else, because mine.
Exactly. Exactly. Which is another whole issue.
Yes, that's another whole show. Listen.
Another whole show. And see, the whole thing about it is you get people like you and I would talk about anything under the sun.
For sure.
You got people that don't want to come on and recommend and give their expertise or talk about how they can help and what they can do when it comes to this kind of stuff. Because I get a lot of people running their mouth and talking about certain things. But one thing I don't do and I don't see none of these people in the schools helping any of these kids. I mean, actually, none of them.
Well, people are looking.
I don't see these people.
because we're in a time where you look the other way or you whisper behind a person's back. You never address the issue at hand.
Right.
It's always roundabout instead of just face forward. Then you got to worry about the no snitching thing. It ain't my business, and it ain't my kid, and that's on them. And it used to be a time where, like you said, each one teach one, each one reach one. But it affects, because it doesn't. You feel like it doesn't affect you because it's not your family. It does affect you. Eventually, it does affect you. We're all
Right.
connected. We're all connected.
We're all connected. And not being in a house or a home where the couples are married, or you got a married couple, or mom and dad are together, does that make a difference? Does it make a difference? Because when I asked the girl today, why get married? She said, for one, I said to myself, I was not going to have kids without being married. I said, okay, I got you on that. I can get you on that. I said, but you can still be happy. You've been in that relationship for 8 years. So now what? She said, now I can be married and practice on having babies. I said, okay, if that's what you want to do, come down here. I said, but you was practicing before. She said, yeah, but not having babies. I said,
because there was a point in time where marriage was a security.
Yes.
And now we're in a time where marriage is not really, to some people, a security anymore because of the things that people are going through, the things that people are allowing or taking on into their marriage, or not discussing, not communicating, not having full disclosure with each other. This is why it's broken, and this is what turns people off from wanting to be married, because of all the negative that they've seen. And so that's why I'm excited and proud to represent positive things. Yes, negative things happen in all relationships.
All relationships.
I fell out with my siblings. I didn't fell out with my mama. I mean, it happens. But at the end of the day, it's about communicating and pulling that thing together, doing your part to pull that thing together. And you can't do it. I can't do it on my own in no relationship. It's two people.
Takes two. As they say, it takes two to tango. It takes two to tango.
Mm-hmm.
You got to tangle with those kids to make sure that baby ain't going to school getting a paddling. So should discipline be brought back in school by the paddling? And does being married, does it matter? What's the importance of both? Think about that. Think about it. And if you can't figure out what you want to do something. Go visit the school. Be seen up there more. Love on the babies.
Mm-hmm. You can be that advocate. You can be that in between, advocate. There's just so much happening. But I love marriage. I love Black love. I love love, period. So, communication is everything in our relationships. And I feel like if you can communicate and get through one storm, you can get through a million storms. As long as it's two people putting their best foot forward, that's what counts.
And you can't be scared to do it. You got to step out on faith and make it all happen. And you are absolutely right.
To each his own. What you got to do, what works for you.
You got to do what's best for you. You got to do what's best for you. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Not what's best for your mama or your daddy. It's what's best for you. Not what's best for your boyfriend, fiance, girlfriend. It's what's best for you. You got to do what's best for you, and then you got to call it a day. Think about that. Do you think? Just think about it. Because paddling might come back. I doubt it, though. Too many social services around here.
Listen, too many. I mean, and now they're calling it corporal punishment. Can you believe that? It's crazy. Like, it's not waterboarding. It's not waterboarding. It's a paddling. Nobody's ever got a bone broken from getting behind paddle, but they stayed in line and they stopped acting a fool in class. That's for sure.
It's like pledging. Back in the day when they pledged, they used to swat them with the paddles and all that stuff. So many things is going on. So many things has happened. So many things has changed.
I mean, we need to be like, what is that, China or wherever that is that they do flogging? Folks will stay in their lane if they was getting flogged, because them folks, they understand character, value, respect. You ain't gonna steal nothing. You gonna do what you supposed to be doing, or you get your butt flogged, and that's in front of everybody.
They hit you over there. They,
So,
they tearing you up, boy.
so everybody on the straight and narrow, no crowd, all of that. You know what I mean?
That's right. God made buttocks not just for us to sit down on and not to be the hump on your back all the time, but at some point you
They
gotta
got
be
it twisted. They got it twisted. They all they want to do is look at a butt. They just want to look at butts nowadays.
Yep. They want the fake booties and all that. That's another whole show.
It's Cinco de Mayo.
It's
And
Cinco
why-
de Mayo.
Cuddling.
All of my strawberry margarita is gone.
Yeah, I'm there.
Took me a whole hour to get rid of the margarita. So Cinco de Mayo. Go out and
Eat
get
some
some
tacos.
It's Cinco de Mayo day. So go have fun.
People.
Enjoy.
the weather. Yes.
Enjoy life. Have fun. Think about the swatting, the pedaling, because it might come up somewhere. Let's put it back in school. But I doubt it. There go my brother. There go my brother.
Oh Lord.
They did
You're right about
didn't.
that. I ain't never
They
heard
didn't.
nobody die from getting their butt whooped.
but it put some splinters in some buttocks back in the day though, because them paddles back in the day had splinters in them. I didn't get no whooping,
Señorita.
but I sure saw plenty of paddles.
Yes,
I didn't get no paddling,
me
but I
neither.
saw a whole lot of them.
Oh yeah.
And wood carry splinters. How about that? Fake booty and all, they carry splinters.
You know they wearing leggings now, so they gonna have all kind of splinters in that fake thing.
Hey, long as people start acting right and doing what they supposed to, accordingly as parents.
That's it.
We will consistently and continue to do what we do here right on Tuck Radio is talk about every topic that we possibly can. So you guys make sure that you tune in next week and the week after and the week after. Please share it. If there's a topic you want us to talk about, please feel free to send us a message and we will discuss it.
Yes, and go to the Tuck Radio page. This weekend is Saturday is Sweet Treats and Eats. So we will be in the parking lot. This is an outdoors event. Bring your chair. We'll have some vendors selling some good sweets. So of course, we'll be frying up the good food for sale. And that's this Saturday at Glendale Salon here in Cincinnati, Ohio, 230 East Sharon Road. The flyer will be on my page, Chanice Gibson Arnold, and also on the Tuck Radio page. Come by. Yep. If you need your CCWs, go to www.atpccw.com. That's out there. That flyer will also be on there because we're doing the CCW class also from 10 to about 5. So yeah, come through Saturday. It's gonna be busy. It's gonna be beautiful. So come support.
And happy Mother's Day to every
thank you.
mommy out there in the world.
Mother's Day is every day, ladies. So yes, queens, happy Mother's Day.
Even if you did not give birth and you are taking care of someone,
for sure.
Happy Mother's Day.
That's right.
We all do it. And you're right, brother. There's not one person out there that didn't get their buttocks whooped. Some of the best people, like me, but I didn't get no whooping.
That's right.
Thank you, Wanda. Happy Mother's Day to you and my dear friend. I hope to see you guys at church soon because, the doors of the church are open for 250 people only. And we have not gotten to that point yet, but thank God we haven't.
That's right.
Now's the time to come. Come to Jesus as you are. But in the meantime, in the between time, happy Mother's Day to everybody.
That's right.
And y'all know what time it is. We come to the piece of this show where we have got to leave you with something good.
That's right. So my positive quote for today is just simple. Live life. Live life.
Live life. Don't just live it. Live it to the fullest.
Exactly.
Live it to the best of your ability.
That's right, because you don't never know when your clock goes stop. So when people think about you, you want them to have fun, happy memories. So yeah, live life to the fullest.
Live life to the fullest. Put your best foot forward. And don't worry about what somebody else think. Because perception is some people's reality. But don't let it be yours. So on that note, happy Mother's Day. And
Yes,
y'all know
happy
me,
Mother's Day.
it's always better to give than it is to receive.
Happy
Hey,
Cinco de Mayo. See y'all
happy
next
Cinco
Wednesday.
de Mayo.
6
We'll see y'all
p.m.
next Wednesday. Peace. Go and get your drink on. See you later. Bye.